Hello guys, welcome back to Jim Bob's Gardening and Farming. Today I want to show you the allotment because it has changed a fair bit, massively. So I will show you in just a second, but this is the little decking area, and I've got all my strawberries in pots that I'm going to sell next year. I've sold a few, there was 2 more trays. I've sold a few, but I want to get them all turned off. I've sprayed them to stop all this fungus that's in there, so hopefully that will quieten down. I might give them another little spray. Here we've got some really nice cranesbill, geranium cranesbill that I took out of our border back at base. That's all changed, so back at home all that has changed completely. Just the other day potted on some common rosemary, put them in a nice pot with some grit, so hopefully that'll sell quite well. They look a lot nicer. This is just a mental area. You may have noticed this was the no-dig bed, and it's not really done very well. No-dig doesn't work if there's bindweed. This is the problem with bindweed. This is the asparagus kale's finished with now, so I'm not too worried. But yeah, it's a massive problem, and it's one that I am tackling very slowly. But it's fine. I'm just using this area to dump, weeds, and I've literally just today taken the tops off the potatoes, or 2 rows of the potatoes, and I'm working through the rest. So that's fine. Got some tomatoes here that have gone a bit weird at the top, but hopefully I can. Perhaps a little bit shocked actually because of the cold. I might bring them in. Yeah, look a little bit shocked, which is fine. I want to get these sold as soon as possible. Saturday, hopefully, get rid of these. And yeah, so this is the star of the show, which is the sweet corn. And I've literally just today put up these baler twine supports because of the high winds we're supposed to be getting, and as well, when they're in a big field, if there's a big field of maize, they will, support each other. Here there's one row. Next year I'm hoping to do 2 or 3 rows actually, because it's worked quite well. We've got a brilliant climate here for growing corn on the cob, and maize, which is obviously the farmer's equivalent, the fodder equivalent for cattle. So this is some of the ears that are coming up, and hopefully doing quite well. And hopefully they'll be quite nice and tender, which is apparently one of the big problems. I'm putting in some dahlias along here. Here they are. It's incredibly late. It's late July, the 29th, I believe. So it's far too late, but I'm hoping that I can just save them so that when we dig them up after the first frost, they won't die. Here are the potatoes, everything that I've harvested today. So there's a mix of red and white. So there's Winston Duke of York, or Red Duke of York in there. There's another row just behind it, but I'm going to take that out in a minute. So yeah, there's not much else in this little area. What I quite like about the sweet corn is it makes like a dividing wall. Do you know what I mean? You can work from this side so that it creates a nice little barrier. And obviously the baler twine just helps. Bale twine just helps. That there. The wind attacking it. So here we go. So we've got pumpkins. Now there's a lot of weeds in here, and I understand that, but this is the pathway coming down. There's a little path that I've left, if you like, and just so I can access all the crops. So I'm not going to grow anything on there because I'm constantly walking on it. These are the brassicas in here. They're all right. There's some purple sprouting broccoli and cauliflower. So they look quite good. Something that's not actually done too well is the beans. We'll go over there and look at that in a second. Radishes, fairly straightforward. They've been forgot that they're a bit prickly, this variety, but yeah, they're not done too bad. Just the same sort of thing. I've not bothered putting much slug killer down because the radishes, you know what I mean. They don't require too much sort of tending. They just tend to grow and do their own thing. We've got lots of pumpkins coming though. That is the big thing, and a big courgette there that you can see sticking up. Along this side I've just harvested half of the onions. There's the other half. Harvested half. I was talking to my neighbours, the chap that owns all of that up there with the flowers and the stuff. He was saying that all of his onions have been taken by white rot. Now, I'm hoping that mine don't, develop that problem. They haven't so far. Well, there's been a few. They're in that bag there. That's all the onions that got white rot. I've left them in there for a minute. So these are the outside tomatoes, looking okay, considering they're outdoors. It's not very good. There you go, there's one. That's Harbinger, I believe, that variety. And we've got two little totem tomatoes, a variety called Totem. Now, I didn't realise that they are just small container tomatoes. So there's one that's sort of semi-ripe there. In fact, he's very ripe. I might eat him in a minute because, well, I don't think my mum's going to be very pleased if I come home with just one tomato, so I might as well. But, there's not much else going on up here. These other onions I'm just leaving in for a minute until I've got enough space to dry them. So, this is the first year. Oh no! That's not good. Oh well. It could be worse. So these are the beans. They're doing okay. They're very small. These ones aren't doing too well. So I'm going to put some twine around them and really kind of force them up there, because they've kind of lost track of where they're supposed to grow. That one's growing up that diagonal, which is going to conflict with this one, but it's fine. This one's decided that it's going to just trail, so again, that has to be tied back up onto that stake and really sort of focused on. But that's going to be a problem as well. That's smacking the bean plant as it grows, but that's just to deter birds at the minute, because we've got various crops. So yeah, let's go. Thought I'd miss the greenhouse for a second. We'll just focus on soft fruits. Now, I don't know when the last time you saw this. These are the raspberry patches. And I think in the last garden tour they were very small. In fact, these are the potted ones that we've got in pots that I'm saving for next year. They're not doing very well because I haven't put them in ericaceous, I don't think. But hey ho. Now, I don't know whether they're just unripe or whether that's a particular variety. If anybody knows, let me know, because they look. This is the problem that I've got. I don't know which are summer fruiting or which are autumn fruiting. So I've been told that we believe this side is summer fruiting and this side is autumn fruiting. But I don't know. I really don't know. I just don't have a clue. These are thornless variety. This one has many thorns. So I don't know if that's an indication of anything, but there you go. This is the blueberry area. Blueberries have been phenomenal this year. I put some netting to stop the birds. Blueberries have been phenomenal this year. I've put down some bark mulch as well, because it looked very nice when it was just exposed earth. It looked very tidy, and but weeds this time of year, weeds have become, well, weeds are the biggest problem this time of year. There's many that are ripe on there, but I'm going to come back and harvest those tomorrow, because I haven't got any containers to take them back with me, unfortunately. But yeah, there's loads in there. The only problem with that is the raspberries are encroaching over, but what can you do? And there's a bit more mulch in there that I'm just going to fill in at the bottom there. There's a lot of weeds in here. I hoed out this section, and they've just come back in the space of a week. They are back, which is it's such a pain, but there it is. Black currants, looking really nice. We've harvested half of these again. We've got a fair bit to take off as well, but it's been a real bumper crop this year, so we've just sort of, there's not really an awful lot to we've just made blackcurrant crumble, and that's really it. There's not an awful lot you can do with it. This really annoys me. Again, the bindweed is choking everything, and I think it's actually killed this stem. It's going to end up killing all this if I don't do something. Where's it coming from? I want to get it fairly low down and just uproot it. There we go. So it's actually coming out of here, look. There we go. Oh no, there's quite a lot of it. Here we go. So that was some of it, I believe. So yeah, this is the rhubarb that has just gone crazy this year. I'm a little bit disappointed there's no summer produce show. We normally have a produce show every year in the village, and there isn't one, just because of COVID and whatnot. So, I mean, we could have had one in theory, but they decided not to. Because I was going to enter some of these sticks, obviously not that one, but there are some other ones that are just absolutely showstoppers. Like this one here has got no damage, and you know, perfectly deep red sticks of rhubarb. So there's some real showstoppers here. But you know, that one in particular. I mean, you look in there, you know, really deep rhubarb stalks, which is ideal. You know, the apples in the orchard. This is an area that I've allowed to get very overgrown. I tried planting a wildflower mix in here. It didn't work. It failed, like miserably. Like, I mean, I'm not even joking. I tilled it over and threw in wildflower seeds and hoed it in and sort of, you know, got it looking relatively tidy. And then Docs, my best friend, decided to start growing through. You know, I'm just going to leave it until the autumn when the frosts knock everything back, and then I can perhaps frost seed some wildflowers or do something. But in order to stop it from just encroaching on everything, I've actually built a little strawberry bed along here, and I've obviously mulched it down with straw to prevent weeds and whatnot. So we've got lovely strawberries along here, and hopefully this will be quite nice if it sends off some runners this year, which it should do in the autumn, and then we'll have more strawberries. And yeah, I'm hoping that we're going to actually double our strawberry crop, our strawberry plant numbers, because then we'll have more to pass on and sell. The apple trees are not looking great, I'm not even going to lie. This year has been pretty interesting for me. It's not been a good year in terms of anything, really. It's been rubbish. But, you know, what can you do? It's my first year on the allotment. I'm trying new things. I'm not very good. This is scab, apparently, a fungus. Americans call it fire blight, which I didn't know. But there it is. It shouldn't impact the crop too badly, as long as I can harvest it in reasonable time. I spray it with Bordeaux mixture, which is a copper oxide solution, and that will knock back the fungus, but it won't. It can't get rid of it now. I put up some. Well, this is meant to be a. Now, let me get this right. A moth trap. I think it's meant to be a moth trap. It's not really being a moth trap. It's being an everything but a moth trap at the minute, as you can see in here. That one's still alive. There's a few that are just hanging in there, but they'll die in a minute. Yeah, there's a lot of fruit flies and bits and pieces in here. So it hasn't really worked. I mean, it has, but it's caught the wrong thing. But you know, at least it's doing something right. I mean, so anyway, that's just sat there on this old apricot tree that I'm going to take down in the autumn. And there's obviously the pallet there, because I've built an outdoor little nursery area, and it's just getting everything done. But I'm hoping that the apples are going to be okay. This tree's not looking too good. The trees will be fine. You know, the trees will be absolutely fine. It's just, you know, yield won't be too good. Other stuff will just be, you know, a bit poor. But what can you do? At the end of the day, it is what it is. Ultimately. Just going to walk over to the greenhouse now. There's the plot. Looking okay. Could be tidier, but, you know, could be worse. Okay, so as soon as you went, you got plants and stuff. These are going up to the farm I work for, John. I'm going to give some gunners to light to him. I'm going to take a load of myself as well. We've got a thing, I've forgotten its name. We've got tomato Shirley that's doing quite well, actually. At the back there, we have got Harbinger. All three Harbinger. in a grow bag. We've got the onions that are drying over there. I took some cuttings yesterday. They're not looking very good, but they never do when you first take them. Chocolate mint looking nice. This little area we've got alpines and various bits and pieces. Big tray of chilies that I'm going to have to get rid of at some point because they look really crap, and now they look, I mean, okay. They don't look too bad, but some of them I'm going to have to keep, and some of them I'm going to have to get rid of. Quite a lot I'm going to have to get rid of, but you know what, it's not, I mean, I'm going to try them outside this year. I'm going to try some of them in the ground. Everybody says don't do it, and I agree, because it never really, they just don't do anything, but we've got a very mild climate, and I'm hoping this year's going to remain fairly mild, although it was started off a bit weird. Physalis that I'm going to have to pot on at some point. I'm going to take cuttings of this succulent once I know what it is. We've got scented geraniums down there that I'm ready to take cuttings of. Pineapple sage is looking a bit cringe, a bit kind of deflated. Needs a good water. I haven't watered anything yet today because of, well, there's just no point when the sun's out. You know what I mean? It'll just evaporate off as soon as I do it, and it can even scorch the plants. Bidens, again, I'm going to take cuttings of it once it becomes a bit more developed. Little succulent in there. It is alarmingly moist, and I don't want to moisten it too much because it will rot. So I'll pop it up here, although I don't want to, because my biggest fear is that it's just gonna, you know, let me just yeah. It can sit out there on the potting table for now. Cheese plant that I had ages and ages ago. You might remember it. It died. I killed it because I left it outside when we were moving house. It's back. It's coming back. It's really good. Succulents down there are going to be potted on. Scented geranium. I need to find out which variety that is. I've got 3 different varieties in here. I don't know which one it is, so it could be any of them. Chinese lantern. Debating whether to just keep them. There's like there's 5 there. There's 5 Chinese lantern plants. I'm tempted just to keep them. They're not the edible type, so perhaps I might just sell them. And I've got some more in there, so yeah, I think I'll just sell them, to be honest with you, because I don't know. Sempervivum needs to be potted up, and here's something really rare. So we went to a garden produce show at Powderham Castle. If you know it, then just go next year because it's really nice. And any excuse to look at the castle. I mean, it's incredible. Okay, so we've got a citrus. This is a hardy. Let me just zoom in a little bit. There we go. This is a hardy lemon orange deciduous citrus, and it's hardy to -20 degrees. We should be fine unless we get a repeat of 1985, which I'm glad I wasn't born then, because, you know. But apparently it was pretty bad. So unless we get a repeat of that anytime soon, this little plant should be good, and it looks good. You know, they probably won't produce anything, but they're apparently quite rare, and I just like rare and interesting plants. So there you go. Hopefully that'll do quite well. I'll put the label back in so I don't forget what it is. But yeah, we saw it. It was £6 for that little thing, but actually I can take cuttings of that, and I can obviously save the fruit and get rid of them from seed, which is what he's done. Onions are looking very dry and very getting ready. I think that's white rot. I don't even know anymore. I think that's just, it could be white rot or just the skin forming, perhaps. But I'd like it to be a bit better because I've grown these from sets. So, you know, I would like, is this one going to dry out or not? There we go. I'd like it to just go nice and crispy, have a nice skin on it, and then I'll be able to use it. This one's definitely white rotted, or rotting of some kind. But I said to my mum about white rot, and she reckons that we can just cut around it. So perhaps we can, because the rest of this is firm. So perhaps we can just cut around it. I don't know. Anyway, as you can probably hear, it's very windy. Sorry this video took so long, but you know, I mean, will it focus? Is it gonna? There we go. So yeah, that's it. Sorry, I was talking quickly and everything was rushed. There's so much to get through and get you guys up to speed. I mean, you guys have missed so much, and it's my fault. But we're back up to speed now. It has changed. I was looking back at some of the old videos actually, and this place has changed massively. My channel has changed massively. You know, everything has changed because it's had to, hasn't it? You know. This is quite cool. I got a bit of bindweed, and because I couldn't find any twine, or I couldn't be bothered to go in the shed and get some, so I took a bit of bindweed and I just tied it up there, and it is acting as a bit of twine. It is acting like twine at the minute. I know that'll rot and this will fly off, but you know what? Where's it going to go? It's just going to go on the floor and I'll pick it up the next day, so it's fine. But that just stops birds. Same with the CDs. It makes birds think twice about coming down here. It scares them. All the rest of it. We've got 3 CDs in this area. Several little pots hanging up. This is one I think I might just keep here, like permanently, just because. Well, I can't keep it permanently because this frame's going to have to come down at some point. But yeah. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. See you later. And there's a lot more videos coming out soon. A lot more. There's a link to my new TikTok account. I say new, I've had it for a while. If you're interested in that sort of stuff, go and check it out. But you know, I know it's not everyone's cup of tea. It's not something that I'm doing. So YouTube, I tend to do, you know, higher quality. This is just stuff that I'm filming, like, on the day. Just filming it. You know, it's not edited. It's just stuff I've thrown together for a bit of fun. So if you like that kind of thing, go and check it out. I will try and link it in the description. Yeah, that's it really. Thank you very much for watching. See you later. Bye for now.